What's going on, guys? Blue Moon here. For today's video, I'm going to be classifying and really listing the operators in Rainbow Six Siege. This is just the attackers video. Most likely there'll be a defenders one coming out next week or sometime after that. So the way this will be done is I'll have 4 tiers for the different operators. That's A, B, C, and D. The listings inside the tiers don't really matter, but A is essentially the best, B is second best, C third worst, and D is the absolute worst. D ones are completely useless, while A ones are very much essential. So now the first A tier operator we have is Thermite. This guy truly is essential. You really have to take him if you're thinking about winning a round. The ability to enter reinforced walls is amazing. You can actually break down a wall, grab the hostage and instantly get out. And a lot of time you can actually do a double breach, where you breach one unprotected wall and then one protected wall, in which case enemy doesn't know where you're coming from, and occasionally is a very good tactic to go for. Although his guns aren't the best, he is definitely an operator you have to take if you are thinking about winning. I don't really think that Thermite does need a balance at all. I think he is perfectly balanced at the moment, and there's a reason he is actually the most used operator in the game. So now second in the A tier we have Thatcher. This might be questionable for some people, but personally I think he is essential. The EMP grenade he has, you basically have to take it. If you're thinking about going through a wall as Thermite, or even, dropping a drone down, you're going to need him. Okay, occasionally he isn't entirely useful, and a lot of the time enemies don't actually place down things where you think they will, and you end up throwing them all over the place to no avail. But the ability of then having that in general is actually extremely helpful. Although again the guns aren't too good, I think that is part balancing, because he again is one you need if you're thinking about breaching any part of a map. Next up we have Ash. Now Ash is here because of potential. So she isn't actually that good. She's very powerful, the guns are extremely good, but the breaching charge is slightly off. It's definitely not the best breaching equipment in the game. Sure, you can use it to breach walls next to you or doors, one's above you, one's below you, and that is really one of the best things about it. You can actually surprise the enemy from any distance. Also the fact that you can sit somewhere at the back of the map, fire one and use an ACOG to look inside without being right up next to the wall. And that's actually a good ability to have. Also the fact that you can stick one to a wall behind cover and actually hit someone behind that cover, which is actually a great ability. But again, she's mainly in the A class because of great potential if you can play her right. So then next up in the B tier we have Sledge as the first one. This guy is actually really good. He can create a massive wall, a massive hole in the wall, in which case you can climb through, and that can be seriously surprising sometimes. If the enemy's think, okay, they're not going to come this way, suddenly bang, you knock down this wall, instantly you're in. Unlike a charge where the problem is you blow it up and then there's a huge collection of dust and smoke once you blow it up. With the sledgehammer you break it down, tiny bit of dust, but then instantly you can see the enemy. So if their backs are to you, you can instantly take them out straight away. Also the ability to actually, if there's an enemy on the other side of a wall and you use a drone to see them there, you can go straight through that wall, hit them, do some damage, and then take them out with your gun. So next up in the B class is Fuze. Now, Fuze is in the B class because he can't always be used. You don't use him on hostage regardless. A lot of the time you'll actually kill the hostage on accident, so just beware of that. Also the fact that people are very much aware of him now. They're going to know where he's going to try and go in, they're going to know about the charges and try and hide somewhere tactically, but that's also why he works best, because a lot of the time people can think, okay, I'll hide here, and they can actually be caught out, or even people can be so afraid of him coming up from above that your teammates can get in somehow, or even you can use their ability of them being afraid of you to actually get in. So that's mainly why he is here. Although a lot of the time you do actually make mistakes killing teammates, the hostage like I said, or you might even use the charge and get absolutely nothing. Lastly in the B tier we have Blitz. Now this guy is here because he sucks 2-on-1 against 2 people. You have no chance because you can't keep your focus on both of them, so you're absolutely done for, and the pistol isn't strong enough to take out both of them. 1v1 he's great. The ability to flash the enemy and maybe move them, take them out, or even, you know, get a lucky headshot on them at reasonable distance is actually surprisingly good. Although of course he does just have a pistol, so a lot of the time you have to rapid fire and hope to get a shot, or switch back and forth between ADS where your head is visible, or hopefully get a lucky shot. Now the flash is amazing, like I said, but I kind of feel like it's not as good as it maybe should be. I'd like to see him if the flash was more powerful, but I think that might be a little bit overpowered. I think it's a very fine balance though if they do try something. Now next up we have the C tier. Now the first one on the C tier is Twitch. Now her drone is surprisingly useful to take out other pieces of equipment, also hurt down enemies and actually defeat them, or even distract enemies sometimes. But at the same time, it's essentially the same ability as Thatcher, except the fact they can be taken out much easier. So for that reason, she's so far down, and she would be a D class and completely useless if not for the fact that Thermite is the best gun in the game. That is really the reason she's in the C class, because the ability to put so many bullets down range and, you know, just aim for the head and a bullet should hit it is why that's the best gun in the game. Like I said though, she's basically like a weaker Thatcher with only one piece of equipment. Next up we have Buck. Now recently Buck was actually buffed slightly. The shotgun used to create a small little hole which you can see through. Now it creates a much bigger hole, but still 2 shots actually makes a big enough hole to climb through. Now that sounds good, and the guns he has are actually pretty good, but the fact that Sledge is basically a more powerful version of Buck. With Buck, you have to switch back and forth between the shotgun and the assault rifle, which is, yes, very quick. But it's the fact as well that a lot of the time the shotgun can actually hit an enemy and they can be instantly aware of where you are, or even, you know, the fact you have to put 2 shots into a wall to take it down doesn't work too well. Although you can use them very effectively if you know where an enemy is, you can instantly bring down the wall and see them, and it is the ability to very quickly change between the shotgun and the assault rifle. So that's mainly the reason he's in the C class and not any higher or lower. The final one in the C class is Glaz. Now Glaz is the hardest operator to use, and overall as an operator he's very selfish. There is nothing that he has that can actually contribute to the team. A lot of the time you do actually see him just sit at the back of the map doing absolutely nothing, then 4 teammates are dead and he's the only one left. The reason he's only in C, not D though, is because of the teamwork ability. If you can actually work with a teammate, they can actually create lines of sight and crossfire to actually hit enemies, or even go, of course you can go straight through barriers, and occasionally you can actually get a kill by, you know, oh, enemies there, straight through the barrier, got a kill easily. That's mainly the reason he's here, not D, but he is very close to getting a D class, although some people can use him extremely effectively. Now finally for the D class and the completely useless operators, the first one is Montagne basically. This class, or this operator, sorry, is completely useless in my eyes. Now you might say, but hang on, he's basically a Blitz that can stand up and use the shield. That's fair enough, but the fact that he can't shoot when standing up. The problem with that is you end up sitting there looking like a lemon, and enemies just put bullets towards you while you can't shoot back at all. Sure, using him with a teammate is actually reasonably effective, but a lot of the time that doesn't work at all. So unless you have perfect coordination, you do find that you just get shot instantly, or even someone comes up, melees you, and then runs around and hits you in the back. So for that reason, he's pretty pointless, and I'm not really surprised that he is the least used operator currently on PC. So for the final attacking operator and the most useless operator in the entire game, we have IQ. IQ's gadget is completely useless. There is nothing that is a good ability about this. You can see enemy gadgets through the wall, which is worthless really, because a lot of the time you can't actually get through that wall to destroy it. The only reason to actually use IQ is because she has 2 of the best guns in the game, in the G3A3 LMG and the AUG. They are 2 of the best guns in the game. I do believe they recently went through a patch, they have downed slightly, but they are still extremely good. Overall though, there is absolutely no reason to use her, and I think if the guns weren't as good, if her guns were average maybe, she would be in a tier below. She would have her own tier of uselessness, but the fact that the guns are so good, she does join the D tier. Now, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, share and subscribe. Tell me about your thoughts down in the comments below. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Sure, by patches some of these will change around. But at the moment I think it's reasonably balanced. We have operators that are useful and that you definitely need, but their guns are okay, and then you have operators that are completely useless but their guns are actually pretty good. IQ of course being the prime example. So again, hopefully you did enjoy. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. The defensive ones will come out next week most likely, but until then, Blue Monsoon, out.